Hello and welcome back to part 30 of my huge Earth map Deity series as the Celts. So that last turn didn't go too well. We lost two privateers, which was to be expected and was a loss that I was willing to take. But we also lost one of our highly upgraded frigates, which is definitely painful. Now the consensus from the comments on the last YouTube video and the leaving comments on yesterday's stream was that we should back away and at least get out of range of these Great War bombers, which is what dealt the bulk of the damage to our frigates here. Now there are some calls for retreating until we have electronics for the upgrade to battleships. The problem with that is, well, we really need... This is already a tough game to win as is. Losing a few of our privateers hasn't made things any grimmer, but we weren't in a great position to begin with. So we will go and retreat here. Let's see. As far back as we can, out of range, hopefully, of these aircraft. So Great War bombers have what, 6 tiles? In any case, we'll be sure to try to protect the frigate here. We'll pull back for now, hopefully capture some of Brazil's navy when they come after us. And then we'll try the push again. I don't think we can wait for electronics. So we'll just have to see what we can do here. And Brazil has a bit of a force down here. Let's try to run away and also see if we can find some other trade routes to pillage. Zulu have a whole bunch of trade routes going along the south here. I don't know where they're headed, but if I could find some Brazilian trade routes, that would be quite nice. And as for this nuclear sub, let's have him just back up the rest of the fleet here. I don't think I can wait for him to heal up naturally in Zulu territory. If need be, we can use the Great Admiral for an instant heal. We do have, some reinforcements coming in now. So the second Great Admiral could potentially replace the first one, should he go and heal up this fleet. And once we're done capturing Amsterdam, we can send the rest of that fleet over to deal with Brazil as well. It does leave our homeland a little more vulnerable, but we need to do something, because if we keep along this path, even if we keep Great Britain very safe, we're never going to win this game. And while I will admit, winning this game does seem like it might be a bit of a long shot, but we're going to keep on trying here. So, shots on Amsterdam. And do I have a privateer in the area to actually do the capture? I don't. There's the guy in Nottingham, but he doesn't have quite enough movement to get over here. I thought I had a privateer, but I guess they were both lost. One was lost in taking Cologne, and the other is down to 1 hit point and was teleported here. So we'll move the privateer into position to capture Amsterdam next turn. Meanwhile, this frigate may as well knock down the rest of health on that Roman trebuchet. We can sleep. My great scientist there. This guy is fine where he is. Or we could even bring him into London to heal up. Let's see, how much movement do I have on this privateer. Can he pull into London? There's no benefit for that. We'll just park him right here and hope that France doesn't choose this turn to declare war on us. We'll pull this ship of the line into London to heal. And park the Great Admiral over here. May as well move this guy a little further forward. Let's see. How far can the privateer move? No, he's best waiting here. Or we can move to here. And this guy, move over in this direction so that he's a little closer to moving towards Brazil once we take Amsterdam next turn. And that's all of our units. Let's see, Edinburgh could use nothing. Maybe another privateer. Alright, let's get to work on that privateer. Over in Dublin, a stock exchange would be fine. Nothing else is going to be too relevant for our last push. I think it's a little late to get any good benefit from the national epic. It might mean one more great person, which could make the difference. Let's see, we might build that out in York, unless there's something that looks much more attractive to us here. As for great people, a great engineer in 22 turns. Let's go and grab the national epic. We might employ or unemploy one of the great engineer slots. Let's have a look at this. So we've got a great engineer in 23 turns versus a scientist in 18 and 21. So 2 more scientists and then the great engineer. Unless we build out this national epic, in which case I might need to pay more attention to microing that. Essentially, I want to get as many scientists as possible while still fitting in a great engineer in time to grab Hubble. The chances of us actually getting Hubble aren't great, but it is the only plan we can go for here. So we'll set up, assuming that we can do that, although there is a good chance that we won't be able to. Key of monster culture, Iceland has grown, we've got a great person, a great scientist, that's good. And a whole bunch of denouncements. They're not all pointed our way, so that's fine. Alright, good. Let's keep an eye on this fleet, see if Brazil hunts us down, or if we'll be able to retreat, do some healing, and take on whatever fleet Brazil sends us safely and profitably. Nundeck 101, Trapper MMA, Jacob23, welcome to the stream. Let's go and have a look at some more of the comments from YouTube. T-Bone 512 suggests rolling back to an earlier save and trying our luck again with Brazil. Given how long these turn times are taking, I don't think I want to go back in time. FP10 and Leonardo May give us some suggestions on how we should be pronouncing Recife, which is how I had previously, or Recife, which is how I had previously been pronouncing it. That is rather incorrect. The English pronunciation is apparently Recife, and the Portuguese, the native Portuguese, is Recife. Fair enough. It's good to learn the names of various places around the world that I'll likely never have a chance to visit, but that's excellent, and I'm glad to see that I still have some fans from Brazil. Kieran Chen also is voting for retreating from Brazil, and Emer Deemer is definitely a very enthusiastic fan, often commenting with first or yay, sometimes first and yay. Great, I appreciate your enthusiasm. If sometimes your comments don't appear, it's because YouTube automatically flags some of your posts as spam, but don't take offense. I'm not purposely blocking your comments. Emer, and I'm glad you're enjoying the series. And even though I've never been excited about commenting first on a post, I'm glad you get a little excitement out of that. Okay, so we still have one question left from Timothy. That was a student from Australia who's doing a project or writing an essay for his 11th year in some sort of 11th forum. I'm not entirely sure how that all works in Australia, but he's doing an essay about civilization and the strategies as Ethiopia. So, Washington wants our crab, willing to give us coal. We're not really interested in coal. We also have plenty of happiness. So, maybe I'll just take a lump sum of gold here. It's good to have friends. And we had one question left from Timothy's list of questions. The final question he wanted to have answered was, what would you say is... France is announcing us that's not good. What would you say is essential knowledge for a player regardless of civ or map type? Essential knowledge. I guess it would really depend on the player, what they're missing. I think what a lot of people who are new to Civ miss out on is citizen micromanagement. So you can do a lot more than just setting the focus of the city. You can manually assign the citizens in your city to different tasks or specialist slots, which can be very important if you want to micro when your great people are going to pop, if you're trying to get maximum science going. And it's also important to realize that the citizens actually work tiles, and that is important for knowing exactly what the benefit is of having different workers improve tiles. So probably most of you who are watching the series are fairly familiar with Civ and those mechanics, but I'll go over them quickly because I think that's something that if you've only played Civ through once or twice and you haven't been watching LPs or other people play Civ, then the whole business of how exactly you benefit from tile improvements and what are the benefits of increasing the population of your cities is something that's easily missed on your first playthrough or two. So you can definitely take a quick look at that. I don't know if that's exactly what Timothy wanted, but that's what you're going to get. And if you wanted a nice written answers for easy conversion to your essay, I'm afraid you're going to have to watch these 2 episodes and get your answers in rambling verbal form instead of a nicely pre-typed form that you can easily copy and paste into your essay. But I hope you enjoyed those answers, and I hope the rest of you watching on Twitch and over on YouTube found that as a acceptable filler for these turn transitions. We got a great artist in Dublin. You can go and trigger a golden age for us since all of the great work slots have been taken, or not the great work slots, the great works of art have all been generated, and so we will no longer have the option of generating a work of art for ourselves with that artist. So here, if I click on the artist, I don't have the generate great work option. I may as well expend him now. I don't think we're going to get more mileage out of a golden age if we use him later. So we'll go and trigger that. Our spy has set himself up over in some of these cities here. 94 and 126 turns. We are really not having good luck with the spy steal times here. 6 turns until we get the spy steal off in Mecca, which will be really good. Hopefully we'll be able to steal plastics for research labs, although Mecca doesn't have research labs of his own up right now, so I don't know, we don't have the greatest luck on pulling that off. I guess we'll send this guy over to Delhi. Spy there, and I think the Shanghai were a tech era behind. Maybe Moscow? No. Maybe have a look at Copenhagen. I think he might also be a tech era behind. Let's have a look at Denmark and the Huns. Maybe Lisbon. See how that stacks out as far as our diplomatic overview goes. Jacob23, if I do another True Start location map, it won't be a 43 Civ map. Because while I am enjoying the very leisurely pace that we're forced to go at with the long turn transitions, I don't think it makes for the most appealing, or at least widely appealing of series. So we were going to go and check on what tech era Denmark is at, and then possibly invest or send one of our spies over to one of Harold's cities. He's in the modern, we're in the modern. He's not really doing that well, but maybe, I mean, surely we'd have a better textile timer than 94 turns. So we'll flop that over, sort that by population. Move this guy over to Copenhagen. Close that, and we'll go and fire on. Sure. Take out that Roman unit. Now we should be good for taking Amsterdam. Swap positions here with the logistics guy being as close to heading over towards Brazil as possible. Alright, so he's taking his 2 shots. He'll go and move over to the west. Get this guy in on some of the action. And, well, this frigate here is mostly healed. Let's bring him in. And there's Amsterdam taken care of. We can keep on heading west with this guy as well then. Swap places with the privateer. Grab Amsterdam. We'd also kill a great general with that, so that's nice. We'll probably go and create a puppet. I would like to see what buildings are there. So let's view the city first. It's got a public school and a university. Works for me. A coliseum. And a mosque. Alright, create a puppet. And then, we do have the happiness to spare here, so Nottingham, what tiles are we working in Nottingham? Let's have a look at that. We might want to... Okay, so we don't have a university, so forcing us to work those slots doesn't make sense. Barcelona, though. Yeah, we might want to go and annex this guy so we can manually assign our citizens to maximize science. Alright, let's do that. We can go and annex Barcelona. Well, first let's see how that affects our social policies and our science. So right now, radio is at 4318 and culture is at 2000. If we were to go and annex Barcelona, annex the city, adds 3 on happiness. Okay, so now the next social policy is still 2000 away, and the texts are 4313 was what I said last time. And our did the amount of science required decrease, or did I just forget? Anyways, so about citizen management. Each citizen can work a tile, and that's why using workers to improve tiles is important. Improving tiles outside of the 3 range of your city, unless it hooks up a luxury or strategic resource, doesn't do anything for you. And improving tiles that you're not working only gets you additional flexibility. It gives you the option of switching over to different tiles, but it doesn't provide you with any bonuses when you're not using those tiles. And so you can manually assign citizens if you think a particular tile is worthy of being worked and it's not being assigned by the governor. And you can set the focus of the governor. In this case, going for science and working these tiles totally works for me. If I wanted to get a little more golden, I would work the luxury resources here, the tea and the wine. But I think I would much rather work all of these specialist slots, which necessitates the other citizens working these food slots. In fact, with only 7 citizens, if we get another cargo ship online, I might want to go and send food to Barcelona. And since Barcelona is facing attack, we may as well queue up some walls as well. Do I want to finish the watermill? That will help me with growth at the expense of a little upkeep. That's 2 gold per turn. Alright, that's fine. An observatory might be nice as well. An observatory would be better than walls. When we get enough money, I might want to rush by that. How much is the observatory going to cost me? 780. Alright, let's have a look at our science output and see if it would be worthwhile getting a boost there. So right now, Barcelona is fairly high up there as far as science goes. If we got it a observatory, it would actually be one of our top 4 science cities. So let's do that, and then we do want to save money for buying out research labs, but that's not for a little while, and hopefully we can get some gold from getting some successful city pillaging off, or more easily and more likely hunting down some trade routes to pillage. Okay, so this ship of the line, we'll have him heal up before he heads over to Brazil. These guys will head over to join the Brazilian fleet right now. Let's give Genghis Khan a little intel. Share that intrigue. Golden Age, population in Dublin, a great person, which we used to trigger that Golden Age. One of our cities became religious. Okay, fair enough. The international games is 45% down. I'm just going to ignore that. The most I would get from that is 3 happiness, and I think I'd rather spend that production elsewhere. The CN Tower has been built in a faraway land. London's borders are down, Kiev's a good ally. A bunch of other diplomatic events. Alright, so everything looks fine here. Maybe we can sell our excess coal to one of our friends. Let's see. The Huns are friendly, not friends. Jacob23 asked if we've considered rushing atomic theory and going to nuke Brazil. The thing is, that would slow Brazil down. It looks like Brazil's going for the tourism victory, so they're not in an imminent threat of winning. If we slow Brazil down, someone else will just come up to replace them. The reason I want to attack Brazil isn't just to slow Brazil down, but to gain some of their really strong cities. If I can take their capital, that'll be a huge science boost for me. But taking their capital is going to be much more easier said than done. Let's see, is Attila interested in some coal here? He is mildly interested in coal. Let's see, how about if I sold them one at a time, would he go for that? He would. Alright, well, let's do a little of this. Let's trade free coal just because I don't want to spend forever manually assigning the gold per turn amounts here. And we'll do one more, that'll be fine. We got a bunch of coal and we took Amsterdam again. So coal and, well, 2 gold per turn. That'll be good for now. Let's see if we have an actual friend we could grab a lump sum amount of gold from. I think America tried to sell us some coal, so they're probably not too interested in coal at the moment. Zulu are not friends with us. Would they be interested in some coal for 2 gold per turn? No, they are not. Let's see, how about Russia? Are we friends with Russia? We might be friends with Russia. We are, so how much will you give me for this coal? 4 times 240 is what? 960? So what will you give me for coal? 10 gold and 10 gold per turn. Do you... oh, right. Strategic resources are valued at 45. They're not like glacier resources, so 5 times 45 is what? 220 something. Wants iron as well. Those. Alright, so 225 for 5 coal. That works. So we've got a little more gold that'll ease our way into buying research labs. I may as well sell Russia while I have her here and interested in coal. Sell some more coal. We'll keep a little for ourselves. Well, why don't we sell it all? Going into a strategic resource deficit would only affect our 1 ironclad. Going negative doesn't affect your factories. Once they're built, they provide their bonuses. So let's sell that all while we still can. And then that'll give us a nice pile of gold to buy at least 1 research lab in our highest, our strongest science city, which is, well, not the diplomacy overview, not the economic overview, which is the capital. So we'll buy a research lab in Edinburgh. As soon as we get over to plastics, hopefully we'll be able to steal plastics. If not, we might have to use a great scientist to pop our way over there. Now, as for this fleet, Brazil hasn't sent anyone at us yet. Where do I want to retreat to? We could retreat to Zulu territory and do a little healing there while we're waiting. Alright, let's do that. Park it right there. Aztecs and Morocco, they both have a few units around. Move it here, and then we may as well move these guys as defenders. Over this way. Okay, so the Brazilian fleet is chasing down this one privateer, and we'll keep on hunting for Brazilian trade routes. No such luck yet. We do have more movement than the AI since we did capture the Great Lighthouse from England. We'll also move our Great Admiral in the direction of heading towards South America. I'm not sure if I want to send my entire fleet there, but we'll leave that option open to us. Alright, so that wraps up the comments from YouTube. We now know how we should be talking about the city of Recife. Nope, that's totally wrong. Recife. That's more like it. Alright, and the Zulu are now denouncing us. That's a bit of a pain. Meanwhile, Japan wants to form a declaration of friendship with us. I think they're doing pretty badly. Unless they've got a pile of gold, Well, they have positive gold per turn. Fine. They're in the industrial era, but that's okay. Fine, let us work together. More friends. That's fine. Okay, so I am going to be keeping this, well, this game is going to go on for another week at least, given that we're only knocking off like 5 turns a session. Sweden's not too happy with us. But once this game wraps up, win or lose, we'll do another Civ series. I'm thinking of checking out Fruit Strike's new mod, which is a whole bunch of rebalancing of the social policy trees, in addition to other facets, mostly geared towards making things more interesting and diverse for multiplayer. And it's possible to use the mod in single player mode, so depending on how many other people we can get in on the game, we could use Fruit Strike's mod in single player or multiplayer. That's one option. The other option is just for another DD series, but it won't be a 43 Civ series. Now, yeah, we can work together with the Aztecs, that'll work. But I am going to be out of town from the 17th to the 22nd for a conference. So there will be a slight break in our weekday morning sessions 2 weeks from now, or starting a week from now ish. But yep, this will be, I am liking this time slot. It gets me up in the morning, and seems to be working out pretty well. I'm glad I have a whole bunch of regulars now that I have a regular time slot. Welcome to the stream there, Massive Effects. And, well, these turn times are pretty long. You'll pay for that, Napoleon. Okay, so I'm not liking that a lot of our neighbors, so we've got Sweden, we got France, they both denounced us recently. The Netherlands aren't too happy with us either. Let's see if we can make peace with Spain now. We have crushed all of her army, but maybe she's not too happy that we took a couple of her cities. Jacob23 wants me to do a 1v1 versus Filthy Robot. That's a thing. I did 2 1v1 games against Filthy Robot. I think it was over a year ago now, but that was when he was just first getting into Civ, so I beat him quite easily. This was before he started streaming. You can find one of the sets that we played in turn-based mode over on my YouTube channel. I don't know if it's easy to find. And then we also played another one semi-live, which I never ended up posting. The audio was kind of bad on that, but I think it's on one of my older hard drives. I can try to dig that up if I have time to hunt that down. So very well. Trapper MMA asks if I'm a scientist. I'm a PhD student in the, I guess, no, it's not health sciences. I'm studying molecular biology, but if that doesn't mean anything to you, it's basic science, understanding more about how we work, and with the intent of improving, healthcare treatment and all the rest. But it's very, very separated from that. Okay, I am not interested in getting into a war with France right now. Gold per turn for our crab, that'll be fine. And so, on the whole topic of real multiplayer, hopefully in about a month I'll have time, sometime, to squeeze in a real no-quitters game. But in the meantime, it'll have to be these hour-long slots in the morning for my Civ stuff. And with the odd weekday night stream, usually it's Monday and Thursday nights where I'll have time to stream. I didn't stream last night but I can usually fit in a 3 or 4 hour stream on Monday and Thursday evenings. Jacob23 wants to know what my thesis is, including the gritty details. We might go over a brief overview during the next turn transition. So we're sorry that has caused a divide between us. Massive Effects asks if England was finally eliminated. Let's take a quick look at that. Nope, they still have Canterbury. I don't think they've managed to settle any other cities. I'll leave that there. Alright, so there's the city-state turn processing, and then the barbarian turn that's processing. The enemy has been spotted near Barcelona. No units lost. The Songhai have declared war on the Moroccans. Barcelona can fire on the enemy. Let's flip that over to the more attractive looking view. We can fire on an archaeologist. Alright, that'll be fine. City connection with Amsterdam. We now have a healthier gold per turn income. Choose production over in York. Okay, because I annexed Barcelona, we can't actually go and build out the national epic right now, which is fine. Let's go and work on the stock exchange while we're waiting. And over in Barcelona, we can go and work on the monument. And then once that's done, we can switch back over to the national epic unless we have a more pressing or more relevant construction project for York. Okay, we'll head over this way. International Games is not another social tenant. I mean, it is if you get the gold win, but bronze is just extra happiness. So +3 happiness. Silver is +3 happiness, and city-state influence, it's only if you can get up to gold, which we won't be able to, especially against 43 other civs, is the free social policy. I think the World's Fair gets you a policy for getting up to bronze. I don't remember now, it's been a while, but that would definitely be worth going for. But I think we'll just let the other civs waste their production on racing for the international gains, which scales with the number of players, so whoever wants to get gold is going to have to spend a lot of production on that. Okay, so let's see, we're getting closer to researching plastics. Head down this way. Guess we may as well head as maybe make a beeline for Sao Louis or Sao Luis, Sefi, or Rio. I'm probably gonna go for Rio here. Meanwhile, these guys want to take this little break to rest up. All these guys will go on alert. And we'll have the Great Admiral out here and sleep. Alert is fine. We're still being chased down by this Brazilian fleet. Let's lead him away from his capital. And the best case scenario is on our way there. We will, wait, why did that? Oh, these are Indonesian subs. That used up our movement here, passing their zone of control. So this privateer is probably going to meet a sticky end unless we can make peace with Indonesia right now. So Jakarta, negotiate peace. Ah, alright, so he's actually willing to pay us 9 gold per turn for peace. Perfect. So I'll accept that, happily. And we're friendly now. Okay, so we did kill a lot of his units, so I guess he's glad to have peace, despite the fact that he could take one of our frigates there. And maybe Madrid, maybe Isabella would like peace for Spain. Nope, she's not into that at all. Well, that's fine. And can I get the Aztecs into a war with Brazil? That might work out quite nicely. Negotiate trade. And we'll go and declare war on Brazil. What do you want for this? There's no way to make this work. Alright, well, it was worth checking. And these guys head over to Brazil as well, even though France and Spain are posturing in a dangerous manner. Let's see, can we make peace with Denmark? Negotiate peace. We still have business to settle. Alright. Well, we'll leave these ships here to heal then, and they'll deal with whatever Denmark decides to send our way. These guys, though, will start heading towards Brazil, even though they only deal 10 or 12 damage to a 100 strength city. At least I feel like I'm being proactive. Although at this stage, it might be too late to do anything about it, but since I am planning to play this to the end, that's really not the attitude I want to be taking. Alright, so let's keep an eye on our forward fleet here, turn the turn over, and we can tell Jacob 23 a little bit about my thesis. So I'm going to be a little vague about some things because along the same vein as how I don't use my I use an alias for my YouTube channel. I don't know how much I want to connect my real life name and identity with my YouTube channel. And even though I like you guys, I'm not sure how I feel about that right now. So if you can do the detective work to find out who I am, or you know who I am in real life, please don't post that anywhere. But I'm studying molecular biology, a further subfield, signaling biology, which is studying the signaling pathways within a cell. A signaling pathway is just a way of organizing the relationship between proteins in a cell so that they're easy to think about. Ethiopia wants to pay us for peace, so that's a good sign. And so by the organization of proteins in a pathway, this is they're generally called signal transduction pathways. So that's taking a signal from the outside of a cell. A cell is sort of the basic unit of life. We're all composed of billions of cells, all sorts of different types of cells, skin cells, blood cells, eye cells, all sorts of cells. And all those cells need to make a lot of different decisions from whether from what kind of cell they become, whether or not they should grow, or what they should do as they go about fulfilling the important tasks that keep us alive. And so how a cell makes those decisions is using these signaling pathways. You can think of them as decision-making circuits. So they integrate different signals, and it results in different behaviors or different decisions. We can swap embassies with the Aztecs here. And so what I'm doing from my thesis is studying one of these pathways, one of these simplifications of the decision-making circuits in a cell, and I'm looking for new parts, new modules in a pathway. So I've done work to find new physical associations. So these proteins that make up these circuits, they physically attach to each other. And so if you want to find potential new pieces of the circuit, you can go into a cell, grab one protein that you know is part of the circuit, and see what other proteins end up coming down with that protein. And so I've discovered a bunch of new physical interactions for this pathway, and I'm characterizing one of these modules, saying, how does this novel protein interaction, these two proteins that we didn't know attached to each other previously, how do they affect each other with respect to this decision-making circuit? And so I work with a bunch of cells that were once part of a tumor or came from a human body, you can culture them in a petri dish outside of a body, and some of these cell lines, well, they outlive their original donor, and at this stage, they probably, for some of the cell lines, there are probably more cells have been in culture outside of the human body than were ever part of the original donor. So that's kind of cool, and maybe depending on how you're visualizing that, a little macabre, but it's definitely an interesting field, and at various times I've had varying degrees of enthusiasm for my project. I'm getting towards the end, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing, or if what I do in the future will have any relation to what I'm doing now, so it's hard to maintain excitement about that. But yeah, that's the general overview of what I'm doing for my PhD. And you're free to ask questions about that. But looks like we're getting through our turn transition here. Skirkens asks why I don't play multiplayer games anymore. It's more a matter of not having 8 hours at a time to dedicate to Civ. So this morning time slot, an hour every weekday morning, is working out well for me. If I can get a multi-session going, multiplayer-wise, in this time slot after I'm done this series, that'll definitely be good. But I definitely want to play some more Civ 5 multiplayer, but I won't have a nice 8-hour chunk, at least not in the next few weeks. Possibly in the next month, I'll be able to get some of that in. We'll see. So, Skirkens, I haven't decided never to play multiplayer again. It's more that I just don't have time. So, definitely look forward to a multiplayer game sometime in the future. Can't promise when, but there'll be one of those coming.